Good morning, today is July 15, 2026, and now I tell you what you need to do to join a foreign mission in Austria. Doesn't matter militia or active duty, this you have to do. I will tell you right now because I do advertising for Claudia T. Tanner. We need more soldiers because the famous NATO Beate, she is the foreign minister of Austria. She wants an army for the European Union so that there is one army in Europe which is called the European Union Bullshit Army. We are a PFP, which means Partnership for Peace NATO. So we are not part of the NATO because we are neutral. First thing, of course, you have to finish your Grundwehrdienst, your minimum military requirements. When you are 18, you do 6 months, or in the future 8 months, an additional 2 months, but that's another story. So when you finish this, you are in the system, and then you can call the Heerespersonalamt, which are some nice guys in Graz. You say, hey, my name is Gefreiter Hülsensack and I want to join NATO Beate's army. What should I do? And then the guy in the Heerespersonalamt says, so he will tell you, you can go Kosovo, Bosnia, maybe in the future Ukraine, and then he will give you, or she will give you, an appointment in the Heeresspital, and in the Heeresspital in Vienna, it's called Sanzentrum Ost-West, Sanzentrum Ost, and there you can make your test. You get an appointment, you also will get it in written form, and then you go to Vienna. These days you need 2 days. First action, you will go to the hospital. There you will get checked the blood test, shit test, piss test. You check your eyes, if you can see good. You check your teeth. I mean, they also check your asshole, they check your balls, they check your nuts, they check your dick. They check everything, they look at everything. And our alkies, the alcoholics, of course, they have problems with the blood test, with the blood work and the blood pressure. And the visibility test, take your glasses with you. Contact lens are not allowed. So you have to take your glasses. Electrocardio have to be perfect or okay. You have to pass. And then you are allowed for the next step. And the next step is what? Yes, the run. You have to run and make push-ups. And there a lot of people fail because they're weak alcoholics and like the schnapps too much. The run test, there are different age groups. And in my age, I'm around 46 now and I have around 13 minutes time, 13 minutes in this area. So if I have to run it, I can eat a pizza in between. So usually no one should fail at this test because this is such a weak time, and still a lot of people don't pass it. And of course the women, they have a little bit more time. And in my age, what I can remember, I had to make 19 push-ups. You have to run afterwards. So do the push-ups you're required to do, because then you need to run. Yeah, there are people there, they cannot even run 1 lap. They cannot even walk 2.4 Ks. They are so weak, they cannot even pass this test. And the worst thing is, a lot of young people, 21 years old, 22, they are so weak and they are not passing this test. When you're over 50, you have to bring a medical certificate from an ergometer test. 3 guys are watching you that you do these push-ups 100% correctly. You get a warning, but when you stop the push-ups the second time, you're gonna fail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your hands are shoulder, your feet like this. Train push-ups, pull-ups, train running, and you will make these tests pretty easy. And if you have a brain problem, like I have, it's of course the toughest test is the next one, the psycho test. The fucking psycho tests. And first you start in, you have to make some bullshit test. I mean this test is completely bullshit. Nowadays it's with a computer, but this test is completely useless, bullshit, and makes absolutely 0 cent, like 0 cent. You do some challenges, you know, like squares, and for example, sunflower green is yellow to ersten. Tests like this, you know, if you have a brain. They're just checking if you have a brain, if you're a complete idiot, or if you actually can think like a normal person. This you do a long time. And it's so annoying. This test is so annoying. So you make this test in kind of a lecture hall, Lehrsaal. You make all these tests, you know, it's like knife sharp is rabbit to horny, or NCC to alcohol equals Joe X to swimming in Lake Badovs, or Joe X awesome versus NCC dumbass. Like this, test like this, then you have to make some squares, you know, put the squares in a row, all this kind of crap. You have to read a story at the beginning and you have to memorize this story, and after 1 hour or so you got questions to this story, and after that you go in the bunker. It's like a safety underground room, like my wine cellar, just more fancy, and there you have to make some additional tests, writing letters, playing some games, a lot of bullshit you have to write. Usually as a normal person you can do it. It's not a big of a deal. You do this 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. You go back to the Lehrsaal, to the lecture hall, and you do some of these crap tests again, which you made in the at night. You make again in the morning, and then those psychos see if you are more capable at night or more capable at night. How tough in your brain are you after the night? And after all this bullshit, it's finally finished. And you're gonna wait for the result. It's got to make a medical exam, which is really awesome. I understand it. The running test is cool for me. It's a good training. It's a good training for me, and I see how weak these other people are. Also awesome. But the psycholog test is completely useless, and I will tell you now exactly why. And then you have your examination talk with the psycholog. I always was, of course, with the head psycholog and mostly 2 psychologs, because my brain, they knew I'm fried. They knew my brain is fried. So you go to the psycholog, usually it's a young hot chick. I mean, we all know that you are fucked in the brain. We all know this. We are completely brain damaged. But you need to convince the psycholog, the young hot chick, that you are capable of not dying in the mission. So the best way is you take a Golan cap, which is bloody. You go to the psycholog and tell her, yeah, she will ask questions. She will examine everything you talk the whole night with the people, everything she will examine, and then she will have a verdict and say you can go or you cannot. But actually this can take 1 hour. I was finished usually after 15 minutes because I said, I am Joe X. I want to go mission, I want to bakshish, and I want to boom boom the lady bar. So I was free to go because I had always my Golan couple. Which looks, by the way, awesome. And if you had troubles in the past, like you lost your driving license because of schnapps drinking and driving, you're probably not gonna make it when you're young. When you're older and have more missions, they are more prone to let you go. When you go to the psycholog, always carry a Spada with you. I said this already. Carry a Spada, a Golan couple, and you will be good to go. So the most dangerous guys at these tests is the psycholog, because he can block you for 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, forever. So be aware what to tell this psycholog. Don't tell the psycholog that you know me. Don't tell them you are a Joe X fanboy, Joe Explorer. Never Joe X Mafia. Don't mention Roman Witlak, my name, to any psychologs, because if you do, you're not gonna go. Because then they say, no, Joe X like lady boy, and you not go mission because you know this mother. Let's say you passed all the tests, everything is cool, so you are ready to go to the mission, you make the tests. Is this valid 3 years, 2 years? Actually, I can't remember, I don't care anymore. So you pass these tests, you go to the nice Vizeleutnant in the office and you say, Gefreiter Hülsensack, reports, I made everything Joe X did 50,000 times. And then the Vizeleutnant says, to the Vizeleutnant you can say you are a Joe X fanboy, because he likes the Joe X man. And you know what we say here in the Gemüsegarten? Wisdom has to grow. Alcoholics have to drink schnapps and beer. If you're a young guy, you need bakshish and you have no education, you are basically an idiot. Understand? You go to the army, you don't work so much, but be aware, they're gonna fuck your brain. They're gonna fuck your brain cells us. If you have a brain, you go to a mission, 2 years, 3 years later, your brain cells are gone. Because when you're dealing with idiots, you're becoming an idiot. Some guys, do not need all this crap I just told you. There is an example that active duty soldiers can join the mission for 28 days, then they have to leave, they stay at home a few days, they go back for 28 days, and they don't need any of this stuff I told you, because these are active duty soldiers when you're so important, or you know someone, or you go hunting with someone, or you are giving them some must. They let you go for 28 days and you don't need any of this crap. And some soldiers cannot require 1 or 2 parts of this test. What I know, you have to do the psycho test, you have to have the psycho, but if you fail at the running test, at the push-up test, or at the medical examination, some of these peoples are sent anyway. And why? Because some of these positions have to be filled, like paymaster. Usually we have an alcoholic fat paymaster in the missions, and these guys on a regular base cannot do all these sports tests. And if they don't pass the medical requirements, they sign a reverse, which means you sign a paper that the army is not responsible if you die, blah blah blah. So they sign a reverse. So if something happens to you, the army doesn't care. The army has to do nothing. They sign this reverse, and they're also allowed to go in the mission, which in my opinion is completely illegal. Because why? All the other soldiers have to make the tests, and some are better than others. Some are better than others. Alcoholics, Schnapsnasen, the alcohol, you know, super alcoholics, and they go to the mission, absolutely no problem. And we, most of the guys like me, if you short 1 push-up, you fail and you don't go to the mission. So, Claudia, do you know what's going on in your business? Do you know what they are doing in your ministerium, in your Ministry of Defense? Maybe you shouldn't check so much the Kühlschrank. What is in the Kühlschrank? Your fucking fake Kühlschrank challenge. Maybe you should check what is going on in your ministry, in your fucked up Bundesheer. So in the end, my advice to the Ministry of Defense, Mrs. Claudia Tanner, maybe it's better for you to go back to the Bauernbund. Maybe you leave your Amtel, you leave your Minister of Defense position and go back to the farmer's position you had before, because maybe you can do Erdäpfel, maybe you can do Söchwürstel, maybe you can do sunflower, maybe you hop on Söchwürstel and you make a Söchwürstel farm somewhere in Lower Austria. It's better for you to leave this job because you cannot do it. You are probably one of the worst Minister of Defense we ever had, and we had a lot of bad people, a lot of incapable people we had. And just check the missions. You want to have the army fit for 2032, but there are peoples in the mission who cannot even require this fucking easy test, which I just told you. Do you know this? That people like this, like alcoholics, are in positions who look like fat hobbits in the missions. Like, you know these people? How this is for the reputation of Austria? Like shit. So these people are down there and nobody cares, nobody gives a shit. So does any of the generals know what's going on? I don't know. Why are some regular guys have to do all this testing and these people not? I'm just asking for a friend. Actually, I don't care anymore, but yeah. Oh, what's this? Looks like a HWC uniform. Now it's a Vogelscheuche for the Gemüsegarten and the Erdäpfelgarten. Alright my friends, that's it for this one. I hope you learned something. A Sparta XL you need for the zombie wars first. And you know, I'm so poor, the army kicked me out, I'm unemployed, Claudia kicked me out, and I cannot even afford Red Bull anymore, so I have to drink this Ochsenkrachel, which tastes like ass. Actually it tastes better than ass, because nothing tastes disgusting like ass. So to all the Arschkraller in the Austrian army, I salute you. Especially of course the Söchwürstel Sepp, because he is the biggest one. So my friends, join the army, do the tests, and die for your country, die for your immigrants who are doing nothing in this country, die for the rapists in this country, die for all these bad people, burglars, child abusing, burning motherfuckers, die for all these assholes in this country, die for them. Join the army, join NATO Beate and Claudia. I wish you good luck with the Ochsenkrachel, Prost, and if you go to war, I would recommend the Coastal Sparta XL, because It is awesome. Bye!